Johnny boy.
Yeah, mate.
John, how are you, man?
Man, I'm really good. Really good.
God,
So...
I'm excited to see you, John.
Bless you.
Do you know why, John? I've had an eventful week. I ain't going to lie.
Have you?
I ain't going to lie. I'm going to get into that in a minute. But welcome, everyone, to the Groove Junction. Here we are, another week. We've got a guest today.
Have we?
Can't wait. Got a guest.
I am looking forward to this one.
I like the way you said, have we? Yes, we have.
Of course I know that we've got a guest.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, we got a guest this week, and really looking forward to getting the guest on. Once again, another member of TikTok royalty, in my view. Goes alongside yourself. I would put him at the king and you at the prince. That's where I would scale you.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean,
in fact, actually, I'm going to drop you down to a duke. Actually, to be honest, I think you're not. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get a guest on shortly. But how's your week been, John?
Yeah, really. Yeah, well, been good. I haven't really done anything. To be fair, I've been quite nice. Like, obviously, December was like really busy, and New Year was great. Sure. Just one little kids party.
Nice.
On Saturday afternoon, which was nice. Couple
Beautiful.
of hours. I was home. Put my feet up, watched the telly in the evening. Lovely. Real nice.
That sounds like the dream.
Well, I won't lie. The weather wasn't great. So
no, it wasn't.
So I lapped up the central heating in the house. I watched the rubbish TV that is on a Saturday night. I'm not used to being indoors on a Saturday night. So...
I would say the fact that you've said that you whacked up the old heating on the Saturday night means you did have a very successful December and New Year, really, because it ain't cheap.
No,
it ain't cheap,
mate. I've got to work double hard now for it.
Yeah,
but no, it's been back to work as well. The normal slog of a normal working day, 9 to 5. Well, I don't work 9 to 5 to be fair, but back to work. It was nice having a relatively chilled weekend.
Good.
So it's really nice. What about you?
I had an 18th birthday party on Saturday.
Love an 18th.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good party. Really enjoyed it. Even to the point of they asked me to stay on longer.
Oh, nice.
Which was really good, and I was like, I'm happy to stay on.
A little bit of that. Was a little bit
of extra. A little bit of extra
nice.
Across my palm, sir. A little bit of extra spondoolies.
Across my palm with silver.
It wasn't silver. No, contactless. I've got a little thing in my pocket. Tap there, sir. Thank you very much. I'll stay an extra hour.
You know what? You saying about that contactless? I went to the O2 the other week to see Paul McCartney, right?
Oh, I was dropping in the name. Sorry, I just get someone to pick up Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Well, hang on a minute.
Friend of the show, is he? Friend of the show, Paul McCartney?
Well, he's not, but he brought on his friend Ringo Starr, and he's a massive fan. But no, there was a busker outside the tube station with a little sign saying, when buskers you chuck a few coins in the case, yeah? No, this is contactless. Minimum £3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
I wanted to give him advice. They're going to take some change out.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Can I get and a receipt? It's interesting you say about the contactless. I wonder how many contactless payment systems are out there that DJs have got in their pocket that they use whilst out gigging.
Yeah, see, I was looking into this a little while ago.
Oh.
Right. And because one of the things was I did a party, said, do you take contactless? And I'm like, no. So I looked into all these different contactless things. And as it happens, my business bank account allows me to take contactless payments on my phone. So I don't even need a machine.
Yeah.
It's just got my phone.
Do you know what? That's really a good point. And yeah, I'll be interested if you are out there and a DJ and you have a contactless machine for when those occasions come where they go, can you stay on an extra hour? And you go, yeah, of course. I just need to pop to the cash point. No, sir.
Yeah.
Tap there. I'll be interested to know whether or not anyone out there is doing that. And also for requests, I'd love to know if anyone's doing requests or doing contactless payments.
I've heard that there are DJs that will do the party, get their money,
Yeah.
and when people come up and say, "Oh, can you play this song?" I say, "Yeah, it's £1 or it's £5 or whatever," and you know, you just think, "Man, that's
Brilliant.
That's a bit cheeky, though, isn't it?"
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Mate, do you imagine that at a silent disco? Coming up,
Oh.
there's you're on the red channel tonight, John. I'll give it, yes, mate. Yeah, yeah. Can you play this? Yes, mate. Yeah. Pound in there, 1,400 people, mate. We would only have to work one day a month.
God, don't tell the boss.
No.
Anyway, so I did an 18th, and then I didn't even realise, because we're in the part of the country that we don't really get hit by snow that much.
Oh.
I didn't even realise, and I swear down, I didn't even realise that we had snow that night. And it wasn't until the end of the gig, where after they've said, "Would you mind staying on?" that I stayed on, did the extra hour, and then I went outside and started loading up my car, and I was like, "Oh my God, it snowed." And we had a fair dumping of snow within Hertfordshire where I was. And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a bit tricky." Started heading home, and then on the marvellous A41, I got stuck behind two lorries that had decided they weren't going to pass each other on the A41, and basically I sat there for around about just shy of 3 hours.
No way.
Yeah,
man. We only had a dusting here. A dusting. That was it.
Yeah, I know. I can't vouch for the rest of the country, but I know the north got absolutely hit. The southwest got absolutely hit. But in East England, we don't really get hit that much, to be honest. And Hertfordshire didn't. I wasn't expecting a huge amount, to be honest. But the fact that these two lorries decided to block the A41 because they couldn't get up the hill, meant everyone else behind it also got stuck. So we were there. I was literally there just shy of 3 hours sitting in the cold. But every cloud has a silver lining, and this silver lining amounted to a box of Haribo Tangtastics that you purchased for me for Christmas.
Yeah,
which I was holding back on for silent discos because I like them. So I decided to crack open the box, and I started digging into a nice bag of Haribos while sitting in the car.
And that's what they're there for, mate. That's what they're there for. That's your winter survival kit. You saved
the day. You saved the day. But you got much on coming this week?
No, actually, no. As it happens,
weekend off.
Yeah, pretty much. Apart from the radio station, which is my 8 till 10, I'm up to Norfolk. Got to go to Norfolk on Saturday for a family. Yeah, I know, and it's like
besides everyone in Norfolk.
Oh no, but it's like a 2-hour drive, right? And it's I'm not actually sure where it's near. Aldborough, somewhere near there.
I don't know.
No, I'm not sure either. I'll put it in the nav and hope for the best. But
the sat nav.
What did I call it?
You called it something that I don't want to repeat. What did you say it was called? You put it in the
yeah, in the sat nav. Yeah, I know what I said now.
Yeah, well done.
I know what I said now. In the sat nav.
Yes.
Yeah, naming ceremony. No, gender reveal thing for a baby.
You're doing a gender reveal.
I'm not. He's one of the family. Right. But we've got to go up there.
But you're not working.
No.
All right. Get home safe from Norfolk. All the best for that one.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Good stuff. I've got a couple of kids' parties this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, man.
What age? Interested.
I want to say 13, joint birthday party, and I want to say 11, 12.
Okay, nice. So probably the hardest ages to do, to be fair.
Yeah, taking the selfie pod to one, which is good.
Oh, good. You take some props on that with you?
I'm going to take some props with me as well.
I'm smashing.
Love that too. Yeah. Listen, it's that time when we need to get our guest on.
I'm so looking forward to this, mate. I really am.
Me and you both. So, John, I will see you.
Oh, yeah, after the break.
Nice pause, John. Welcome back, John. Did you enjoy your little break?
Man, absolutely. Of course I did. I always enjoy my little break. Always enjoy my little break. I always rush back at the same time because I want to see you. Actually, that's a lie because I want to see our guests, to be fair.
Well, very true. But I was just about to say it's like the gift that keeps on giving you.
It's Christmas all over again.
Oh, isn't it just? Yes, that is right, John. We've got a guest and can't wait to get this guy on. He is TikTok royalty, in my opinion. He is, if you don't know him, once again, you need to get to know him. You need to go and find him. And like we always say with our guests that come on, all the details in relation to our guests are in the description of the podcast. So please feel free to take a look at those. And then you can go and follow this man to your heart's content. So without further ado, please welcome to this week's The Groove Junction, Mr. Funky T, TJ. How are you doing, sir?
There he is.
I'm nervous. I am a little bit nervous.
Oh, really? Why?
I said, wait, usually I don't get nervous.
It's not a police interview. It's not a police interview. You'll be all right.
It feels like it. I'm joking. I'm not in control.
You're not in control of the situation.
I'm with your hands. So
I haven't been in control for 21 weeks, 22 weeks now. I'm not in control. You get used to it, mate. You get used to it.
And there was me. I was going to say who's going to be the good cop and who's going to be the bad cop in relation to this relationship tonight.
I don't think that's a question that even needs to be asked, really, does it?
No, okay.
No.
All right, bad cop. The ex-doorman himself. You just keep yourself there. TJ, welcome to the show, man. It's a pleasure having you on. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Pleasure to be here. Genuinely.
Yeah.
I love the Groove Junction. I listen to it. It's great. I think what you're doing, both of you, is fantastic and it's needed.
Oh.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'm going to jump in quickly. I know Matt's got some more spill, but if I don't talk now, TJ, I will forget. You don't huff and puff, mate.
It's just every week. It's just every week. Come on.
It's not every week. But TJ just said he loves what we do and it's needed. But if I have to be totally honest, that TJ, you did start something similar last year. Because I was one of your first guests.
Yeah, I did a YouTube podcast, didn't I? And I didn't have the huff in me to keep going with that.
Matt's got plenty of huff,
so much, but so I know exactly how difficult it is to keep it going and to do it and find the motivation. And
it's not difficult for me, TJ, because I just turn up and sit here. So it's not difficult for me at all.
So Matty pulls the strings, you're the puppet.
Mate, sometimes that is exactly. God.
Okay, well, back to the intro as we normally would do with any of our intros. TJ, thanks for joining. I've got loads of questions to ask you. No doubt, John will chip in as we go along. But firstly, you have been very much in that social media window for some time, both on Instagram and TikTok was one of your big pulls very early on in your social media days as a DJ. We're going to go back to your backstory in a minute, but as John's already started in relation to that sort of social media pull with the first questions, and he's just like literally throwing my list of what I'm going to ask you out the window because he's coming at some random point. Diary of the DJ.
Yeah.
Why did that start and how did that start and what inspired you to start that off? Because that is for me, that's a really intelligent way to do it because no one was really showcasing what we do as DJs and Diary of the DJ certainly does that. So what gave you that inspiration to do that, mate?
First of all, I nicked the name from Diary of the CEO.
Well,
have you heard of that guy, Stephen something?
Mr. Dragon's Den.
I nicked the name off that podcast, and I started the TikTok with my own business name, and I started it to promote myself for my business on there. And I realised that no one was watching the videos, no one cared. No, nobody wants to see someone sort of say like, "Oh, book me," especially on TikTok where it's like worldwide. Because people that are watching you are probably A, don't need a DJ, and B, don't live in your hometown or wherever you DJ. So no one was watching it. And I think it might have been by chance that I made a couple of videos that weren't necessarily salesy and they did really well. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute. And the penny just dropped that people actually want to see behind the scenes and people are more interested in the background activity of what goes on. It's more interesting if you don't need a DJ, but you're just interested anyway. So then I thought, and then I put it in as Diary of a DJ, and it just went from strength to strength. But it was a hustle at the beginning. Now, I haven't put up a video since probably New Year's Eve or whatever. Now that the videos are quite few and far between. When I first started it, I was doing few a day, really trying to push it. And it was just a moment in my time where I was quite happy and had the time to do that, and I was enjoying doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other a little over 2 years now, and I came across your videos on TikTok, and it was you set up the back, the back, what happens backstage, if you like, and the loading of the bands and the lights and this, that, and the other. And then we met in Solihull, Mobile conference, wasn't it, up in Solihull? I was outside vaping. Now, I have to be honest, CJ, you're not a guy that is easily mistaken. And I was out there and I said hello to you. We had a selfie, and that is really where our friendship started. And I say it's a little over 2 years now, and that was all because of TikTok. I saw a video and it was just like, wow. And then more videos came out from you. You're going to Solihull, you're going to do this, and that was the year you won the award for the DJ's DJ. So the social media side of things are very powerful. I know what you're saying, that it wasn't doing it for you, as in promoting yourself for your parties and this, that, and the other. And you changed it, and I'm quite grateful for that, really. Because
do you know what, John? Well, that's great. Yeah, so am I, and it's really tied everybody in together. Well, I say everybody that uses TikTok, like us three, and many more. It's really created a little network. But what I will go back and say is, when I decided to switch and show people what goes on in the background, rather than being too salesy, what I didn't realise was that was the best move marketing that I could do. And I try and use that within other forms of social media now, because if someone stumbles across your videos, they don't need a DJ, but they stick around because they like your content, and you continue to put content out. When they do need a DJ, they're like, I've got just the person. And I'll get inquiries from all over the UK.
Yeah.
From people that follow TikTok and Instagram and stuff. And it's because they followed me for a while. They didn't need a DJ, but they do now.
Yeah. You know what? It's on a similar thing. You saying that people were watching your videos just because they were interested in it. I watch them how it's made and the mega factory. I'm never going to work in a sausage roll factory, but it's so interesting to see how they do it.
Yeah.
You laugh, Matty, you laugh, but that is exactly what it is. Someone who's not into DJing and has no idea, and they probably doesn't even care, when they see, it's not just 4 hours pressing buttons. It's a little bit, it's 8 hours because you've got to do this, this, and this. So people do get fascinated. They're fascinated by it.
I think I'd add a little bit more to that, in the sense of, I think DJs also are interested in it, because we're a strange specimen of individuals, where we are always looking over our shoulder. It's a very competitive market that we're in, through pricing and everything else, and what equipment we have and everything else. And I think when you're showcasing yourself in the way that you do on TikTok, by doing that behind the scenes, I've got this, this is how I set this up, this is where I place this is what this effect gives off. I think you are educating people who are coming into the industry, and even people that have been in the industry for many, many years, going, actually, if I did that, I can actually streamline something else that I'm doing, and I don't need to worry about it. And I think you've captured all of that with your posts that you've produced over the years.
I think also with the videos that you've done, TJ, on your TikTok and your Instagram, as DJs, if we're in the fortunate position where we are out every Friday, Saturday night, or near enough, we don't go out to parties and see other DJs perform. We don't get out to see their setups and this, that, and the other. So the world of the social media, the TikTok and the Instagrams and the YouTubes, you get to see, and you took it, not only did we get to see the front of it with yours, we got to see all the nitty gritty behind. We got to see the messy cables underneath. We got to see all the bags stuffed in the back of the van while you're doing your gig, and you know, all of that sort of thing. And I think one of your videos that really propelled you, in my opinion, was the pricing one that you did, a pricing video telling people don't be going out for 150 quid. And I think that was the one that, I think that was the video that really
that
captured me.
got a lot of hits. Yeah,
that was one that was like, this guy knows
the
what he's
thing is
talking
with
about.
that as well is because there was a bit of negativity. Negative. If you can, I can talk about in a minute what I think makes a good video or makes a good bit of engagement. But one of them is definitely not necessarily negativity, but creating conflict in the comments. And that video for sure stirred up a lot of people going, well, why do you think you're worth more than that? Or why would I pay a DJ more than that? Or, you know, I think I said in the video that you're looking left and right and the light up numbers are like 350 quid. So if you're going out for less than that, then you're working like 8 hours and they're paying more for that for someone to drop off a light, turn it on and go back later and pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, and then bad people in the comments saying, well, I run a light up less. Don't think to me, you know what I mean? And I wasn't trying to diss anyone, but that concept in the comments. But what I will say,
that always helps though.
That 100% helps. That's like I've made mistakes in the past to test out, like mistakes in my spelling on like the captions or the what do you call it, the title and stuff, like really glaring ones to see if people will pick it up in the comments and see if it didn't really work, but you know, I've experimented with that. What I will say about constantly putting videos out, and certainly when I first started a number of years ago now, is you become an authority on it. People look to you, like what you were saying there, Matthew, people look to you for answers and how to do things. But actually, I was just the same as everybody watching it. You know, I was still finding my way, and I'm still finding my way and experimenting with things and stuff. But what it does is just drive you personally, because if I'm on there talking about this is how I do it and this is how I think you should do it, then I'd better have my shit together. So I personally don't think that I'd be where I am within my business now if I wasn't making those videos, because I would just let a few things slide, or you know, sometimes I'll fix the camera and I think, right, okay, this better be, you know, I've got to have my together in order to stand there and tell people what I think. But
that's a really, really good point, because sometimes I won't turn my camera on because I go, don't even like where they've put me today. I'm in the corner. I'm not front and center in the room. I'm all, you know, I'm all over the place. So I haven't got that with me, and I'm using a little bit of that. And sometimes I just think, oh, what's the point? For me, it doesn't look great, but the customer's happy. But for me, on that social media side of things, is it promoting me well enough? And I actually go, no, it's not. So I'll put the camera away and won't even bother filming anything or do anything or posting anything. And there is a flip side to that, because you do fall into that, well, I've not posted anything for 6 days. I've not posted anything for 8 days. And you then go into that, well, if I'm not posting, it becomes a bit of a vicious circle. And I think to be honest, nowadays, at the beginning, like you said, TJ, I've got to keep pushing footage. I've got to keep posting stories. I've got to keep posting little clips about things to drive that channel. But actually, in the big mix of it, do we really need to? Probably not now, because
that's something I've realised recently. Exactly what you're saying now.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do as much as we do, and I think people just get into this cycle of, I need to keep pushing out. I need to keep pushing something out. Realistically, is it really helping? Probably not in the long run. But on the flip side to that, the Diary of the DJ stuff, which you do on TikTok, is really beneficial to a lot of young people coming into this business. It may not be reflective in relation to you financially, but in the sense of what it's driving in that educational piece, which I think we're all passionate about from an educational point of view. I think that's where it holds a lot of value. in my opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
We've gone massively, like within the first 10 minutes of this chat, we've gone down a road that I was not expecting we were going to do. I wanted to start at the beginning, really, TJ. I'm just going to drag it back a little bit because John took us down a cul-de-sac that we can't get out of at the moment.
Mate,
Your fault,
you know
John.
what? He said that just chip in at any time, So I chipped in, and now he's having a go at me.
You'd think after 21 episodes
honest-
and this being the 22nd that he'd have a sort of a rough idea of how we structure these. But anyway, TJ, where did it all start for you for DJing? Where did you feel that you needed to pick up a microphone and a set of headphones and start?
My parents are drinkers, and they're not like alkies or nothing like that.
I was going to say, hold on, now we're going down a different conversation already.
They're very sociable. And
Okay.
when I grew up, much like yourselves, probably, back in that day, labour clubs and social clubs, hall clubs, that was the place to be. Yeah, there was no internet, no Facebook and stuff, so you actually had to go out and socialise. And every weekend, my parents would be going down the Legion or local pub or whatever like that, and they'd always do a disco on or something. And the main DJ that used to be in the Legion every weekend, he was a couple of years older than me, and I really looked up to him. And I was just looking at him and all, I want to do that. So when I could do that, I did. And I saved up some money, and I bought some second-hand DJ equipment, and I wasn't old enough to drive, so my dad used to take me, drop me off and pick me up. I was 16. I was just a bit past 15 when I started, but 16 properly. And I had an advert in the Yellow Pages, so it's all like faceless.
No way.
Like I say, there was no internet, so it was the Yellow Pages, and it was called Rewired Disco. Right?
Nice.
Okay.
And that's why later on, when I picked it up again, I went back to Rewired Entertainment as like a nod to Rewired Disco. But people used to book me, and they didn't know that they were booking a 16-year-old. You know what I mean? Because it was a Yellow Pages advert. So I'd turn up with my dad, set up, and then my dad would go. And all the time I would see them looking at me like, oh my God.
We got a teenager. What's this about?
Yeah.
But because I was raised all the time in going to pubs and social clubs and stuff, I knew 60s music and 70s music like the back of my hand. So I knew what they wanted, because that's all I listened to every weekend or even some weeknight. So it was all CDs. It wasn't back then. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't mixing much. It was literally fading in and out. And I was confident enough to speak on the microphone and make announcements and stuff. And it was a challenge, mate. It was a challenge to win them round. But by the end of every night, or most nights, can't remember anything negative. I'd always sort of have a good night. And if anything, I had more positive feedback because it was sort of like the underdog.
Yeah.
That was it. We can't believe we've had such a great night, and it's a 16-year-old.
16-year-old that's done it. Yeah.
So that's where it all started. And then I did that till I was 19, joined the military, and I had to sort of give it up.
It's really, I started, and then at 19, joined the military, as you know. And it's really, your story is, other than the name, but your story is exactly the same as mine at the start. We had our parents. They were the ones that were driving us to gigs. We would get dropped off. I had a load of records and stuff, and I had vinyl 7-inch loads. I had 3 boxes of 7-inch vinyls in plastic boxes and stuff. But it's really similar stories in the sense of that. And then, did you do anything when you were in the military? Did you?
Yeah, I did. I did some mess
in the
functions.
military?
I did some mess functions. I did some Christmas parties and club in Germany.
Yeah, because I worked for an entertainment company in Germany when I was based out in Germany as well. Britannia Entertainments was the company I worked for out in Germany. A good old friend of mine, Paul Elphick, who used to work for BFBS as a radio presenter. He ran the company. Bless him. He lives up in Doncaster now. I still keep in touch with him now and again. But yeah, he sort of he had me doing karaoke's on a Thursday night, and then I was in naffy bars and clubs on the Friday and Saturday nights. But yeah, loved it. But yeah, I continued my journey. But so you continued to do that whilst in the military, and then at what point when you left the military did you sort of then really kick into it?
Yeah, so when I was doing it in the army, I did get paid for it. If I did a mess function or whatever, it was all free, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I did the club, I wasn't part of an agency. I just was peppering the DJ's head off in the club. So then I meant he was let me in, so that was that. But I knew I was going to leave the army at some point, and I just wanted to be around my family a lot, and I was always away. So I was like, right, I need to leave. I've got no idea what I'm going to do. That's like my main source of income, but I know, and I didn't think that at first DJing would financially support me. So I was like, right, I'm gonna have to get a real job. Don't like hearing that the way as DJ.
No,
But
don't.
but also I'm gonna be DJing because it's something I know, it's something that comes sort of naturally to me. It's something I'm a little bit experiencing. So I started to get that ball rolling whilst I was in. And I was taking bookings whilst I was in, and certainly for people that don't know, when you leave the army, you have to give 12 months notice. And that's so that they can replace you, but also, it's good for you because you can resettle and learn a new trade and get paid a year's wage and blah, 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 and get better leave, go home, spend time with your family and plan your future. So during that time, that is quite stable time. You know what you're on for that last 12 months to a degree, certainly the last 6 months. So I was taking books and thrashing it and really sort of thrashing the marketing and leaning into everyone locally to try and build it and build it and build it. That was 2018, the end of 2018. And I planned to leave at my 12-year point, which then, as I was going to leave, COVID, and I was really myself. Thinking, is the world going to end like everybody? And then the army didn't look so bad because it was a guaranteed wage. So I went back to my boss and said, look, about me leaving, can I stay? And he was like, of course you can. Like, we'd love you.
That's another reason why that 12 months is there, Tej.
Yeah, exactly. So they re-signed me up. And I basically waited for COVID. I rode out, did it about a year or so, and then handed my notice in again. When I knew that we were sort of coming out of the back of it.
Yeah.
But by then, obviously, started it way before COVID, and then all throughout that whole process, I was DJing and marketing and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I've been going now again since back in 2018.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when you came out, obviously that was when she made that decision the second time round to actually leave the forces and then come out. And at what point did you go, right, I've got to go in 2-footed on this. I've got to really put all of my energy into this and then start building the brand that you already had, in the sense of, you touched on it earlier about you going back into Rewired Entertainment. Yeah. What made you, obviously the drive is you need employment. You're coming out of a stable employment in the armed forces. You're going into your own business in the sense of the DJing world. What was the real drive for you? I know family is obviously one of those big key points around the drive to keep all that going. But in the sense of the DJ side of things, what was your goal?
And originally my goal was to have a full-blown entertainment company, right?
Okay, right.
So when I came out, I wanted having fucking balls, and I wanted tribute acts and all the rest of it, and that's what I was gonna build, and that's why I called it Rewind Entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since then, for those of you that don't know, I've rebranded literally last year to DJ Funky T, and we'll talk about that in a bit if you like. But when I came out, it was Rewind Entertainment. I had a number of DJs that would go out and I'd take a person, and I realised how stressful that was, because you guys, I'm saying this for the podcast, not for you, because you know this, but when you have DJs working under your brand or going out under your name, it's stressful, because if they don't turn up, they've ruined someone's 20 or 30 grand wedding or whatever it is, yeah? And you probably can't cover it because as DJ yourself, I'm out DJing as well, yeah? So,
yeah.
So if I'm putting somebody in there to make 50 quid off the top of it, all that stress, it's not worth it for me. It's not like a plumbing job where if the plumber calls in sick, we could fix the tap the next day, or mechanic can just swap a car battery later that afternoon. Like, yeah, 7 till midnight, you have to be at Lowest Castle. You can't call in sick. So the stress of that, I was just like, maybe I don't want to run as a DJ. And DJs didn't let me down. Nobody let me down, but I was just like,
it's always at the back of your mind, isn't it?
Yeah. I had one DJ actually that was always going out for me every weekend, and felt really guilty about it. We actually don't speak anymore about me,
Oh, right.
like letting him go. I tried to do it in the best way I could. I sat him down. We went for a beer, invited him for a beer. Basically, I won't drop any names or anything, but I basically said, look, this is stressing me out. Like, I know you haven't done anything, but it's not worth the money. The energy and the stress isn't worth the money for me. So you're out for me every weekend, and I don't want to just like cut your work so we can taper this off and come up with a plan together to all my residencies. I'll sort of split with you. You'll be the number one person that I pass work over to when I get double bookings. You set your own business up, so actually in the long run you'll make more money because you won't pay me. But it didn't land very well, and now we don't speak.
That's a shame.
It's a shame.
Yeah, but you've got to do what's right for you and right for your own mental health, your own business, your own stability in relation to what you're doing. And if you're feeling that you can't hold that stress and that stress is too much for you, why would you even continue to do it? Because you're going to make yourself unwell. Really.
Yeah, and the thing is, the stress doesn't just stop there, does it? You being stressed out, you're going to pass that on to your wife and your kids and your mum and your dad, because you're aggy, and you start, snapping at people even though they don't nothing to do with them, but because you're so stressed, you start taking it out. They say, don't they? You take it out on the ones closest to you, when you're stressed and things like that.
Yeah, you do.
This is probably why me and Matty always argue, because Matty's like so nice to me normally.
It's a tough life. A tough life, and there will be that time I'm going to have to let John go because I just can't keep holding that stress on too much.
Matty's going to kill John.
Man, it's I'll be honest with you, TJ. I've quit better jobs than this. To be fair, you know what I mean.
Oh, that
sounds like you'll notice.
It sounds like he's putting in his notice.
I've got a 12-month. It's a 12-month notice. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Basically, it just wasn't worth. It just wasn't worth the money. Like the stress is, you can cope with the stress, but when you balance it against what you're earning, I don't want to rip anyone off. I'm not charging someone £1,000 and then paying the DJ £200. Like, if we're talking that type of money, deal with the stress, But because I felt like I was doing the right thing and just taking a small amount, but I couldn't get it. It just wasn't worth it. It didn't balance. So, and then as I went on for the few years, I just thought, do I really want to be jack of all trades and do everything, or do I just want to niche down on what I started out doing, what I really enjoy, and that's DJing? And do I really want to niche down on the gigs that I want to do, and go down that road?
So what was the point? What was the point for you? What was that point that actually happened where you actually went, no, I can't stop this. I've got to focus on purely, I'm a DJ. I need to go out on my own. I don't need a Brockin Bronco. I don't need a mirror wall or a balloon arch or whatever. I don't need any of that. What there must have been an instinct that happened that you just went,
do you know what?
Yeah,
I don't think it was. I think it was gradual over time. I think it became clearer and clearer as I was going. I still have upsells, I still have like the video slideshow booth, and I still take a selfie pod and things like that. But nothing that's too big or too complicated or needs anybody else to run it. But yeah, I feel like it over time, because that all happened about 2 years ago, and then I still went out for a while under Rewired Entertainment, and I had this niggling feeling that wasn't right for me, and I needed to have a personal brand. And thinking to myself, I need to have a name. Like, if someone says, who's your DJ? I don't want them to say Rewired Entertainment. It seems too corporate, and it seems bigger than it is, because that was the vision that I had for where I wanted to go, and that's not where I've been. It's not where I've ended up. I needed the personal brand. And I was thinking, DJ, the wedding DJ, I tried that for a bit. It's not right. Like, it just doesn't feel right for me. And then I was spitballing a few ideas with Watty, my mate, who comes out with me DJing, and he came up with Funky Tea. And then I was like, that is the way to go. And ironically, it was probably a month after I decided to go with Funky Tea. That was when I got booked for a festival. And when I was
going to ask you about the festival, but
when I was submitting, they wanted like my name and my logo and up the screen behind me and stuff. And it was a warm up spot for Majestic, and I was on the poster and stuff. And I thought to myself, literally, I manifested this because this was exactly the right time. Because what you can't put is Rewind Entertainment is a warm up DJ for Majestic. It doesn't fit. But you can if it's like DJ John Colley or DJ Funky T or DJ Matt. Yeah, that fits. Because that's saying this person is a DJ on stage, not Rewind Entertainment is on stage. Please welcome Rewind Entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it all
makes
sort of worked out.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
then
it
go on then, John, ask the
flow.
question. Go on, John, ask the question. You wanted to ask the question about the festival. Go. You had a question.
No, I didn't.
You just said it a second ago. I was going to ask a question about the festival. How did you get booked for the festival?
No. I was going to bring up the festival within our, when we were talking about like the DJing
Do you want to bring
and
up
all
the
of that.
festival, John?
I understand you've done the festival down was it the Sevens Festival or something like that? Is it called?
Yeah, Ballstone Festival, yeah.
And how did that go, TJ?
Sorry, you cut out there, mate.
How did that gig go?
I was nervous, but it went really well.
Was you?
Yeah,
But it was a
I
big
did get
marquee, was there? It was a big marquee that you was in, wasn't it?
Yeah, and when I stepped up, first of all, when I stepped on the stage, the decks weren't quite working properly. Not my personal decks. They had CDJ. Yeah, they had CDJs. I can't remember which model it was. I didn't use them, but all the DJs that were performing could either take their controllers themselves or use the CDJs. And I don't DJ with CDJs week in, week out. I can DJ with CDJs, but certainly if I'm jumping on stage in front of thousands of people, I want to use my kit I use week in, week out. So I was like, I'll just use my Opus Quad. So I plugged that in. But they had to plug the Opus Quad through the mixer. I think it was 9, but they had to plug it through that. And for some reason, it wasn't working properly. Straight away, I could jump on the stage. And honestly, there weren't that many people in there at the beginning because I had an early slot. So I go up on the stage and there's not that many people there, and the mixer's not putting the music up. So I was in a bit of chiz. But Blakey, the guy who booked me, he got on stage and he was there as well and he sorted it all out. And then it was fine. And then I had the challenge of, it's really weird because I had this set plan in my head of what I was going to play. I had a 2 hour set, I think 2 hours. And I've been practicing it. I had it, literally I knew where I was going to mix in and mix out stuff. And after 15 minutes or so, it just went out the window and I was just literally plucking songs. And as soon as I put it out the window and I jumped on the mic and I was chatting to everyone and I can't even remember what I was saying, but I think I started giving out like shout outs to people's birthdays and things like that, like because it's like a party tent and somebody came up first of all saying it was their birthday, so I gave them a shout out. Everybody sort of like made a bit of noise and then people started coming to the tent. By the time the set finished, the tent nice. And that felt really good. That was a really good moment. But yeah, I mean,
I've seen some of the videos. You look like you had good fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was nothing like I thought it would be. In the sense that I thought it was going to be this set played at this time and this mix point, and it was just it was so much easier than I thought it was going to be because I was just selecting songs and mixing as if I was in any good anywhere doing what I usually do.
Nice.
So yeah.
Have you done a festival, Matt?
Pardon?
Have you done any festivals or anything like that? No, me neither. No,
never done a festival.
Yeah, but you guys still play to thousands of people every bloody week, don't you? So I've been out with you.
I mean, we can. Yeah, I mean, we did the three of us, which was really nice for me because we touched on it earlier in the sense of how you guys met up in Solihull at a DJing event, and I knew John through TikTok, and I knew you through TikTok, CJ, and I'd never met either of you up until the retreat last year. So knowing the both of you on how your social media footprint was and what you were delivering, and I was fairly new back into DJing. I've been DJing many, many years, but I was fairly new in the sense of pushing myself out in the social media context because it was never something that I'd really ever done. So to see you guys, I was like, I'm surrounded by superstars in the TikTok and Instagram world. And you know how quickly that vision went out when I first spoke to John. Really, that just changed. But not you, TJ. You were still very much eclipsed for me, and very much high up. But where I'm going with this, what was nice is that the three of us DJ'd together at Salisbury Cathedral for a silent disco in front of 1,400 people, and that was. It was an absolute privilege night for me to be next to both of you. Definitely 100%. And yeah, it was a really good night, and I loved it, and I hope you enjoyed it, TJ, more than anything.
I loved it.
All,
yeah,
in the sense of, yeah, I mean, in the sense of what our community do and how we drive it. You know, I being able to, and I'm lucky enough to be in that position where I'm booking the DJs for the tour, so I know where all of our community are around the country, because we have that interaction online, but we've also had it at you know, these DJ meetups that we've had at various locations. So doing that network is quite key for me, and then from that I'm able to then book people who are up for doing the silent discos, and they're big jobs. You know, it's not a, you know, to DJ in front of 1,400 people every weekend in a massive cathedral it's not something that you can be, you know,
mate. You guys have got
about, and
you guys have got it slick as well. Like, do you know what I mean? You were ripping out like quickly. You turned that into a proper nightclub, and then you stripped it out and were away. And it was like, for those of you that don't know about the silent discos, at least they do, they basically turn up and turn a cathedral or somewhere that you would never imagine a nightclub or a disco to be, and turn it into the most incredible events. And it's a full team. You know, you might see on your social media, Matty, you two DJ and stuff like that, or like you might see the lighting tech, but there are loads of people involved, isn't there? There's dozens.
Yeah,
the big team. It is a big team. Yeah,
it's a big team to get it going, and you know, we love doing it. But you know, you came and did your first one with us, and I hope it's not the last. That's something we can talk about offline. I don't want to obviously broadcast that on the pod, but yes, how was that night for you? From doing a festival where you know you are on the same bill as Majestic, to then coming to something unique as the silent discos in that cathedral.
It was similar buzz, because it's the amount of people that are buzzing off of your music, and you're in the spotlight, and it's exactly the same sort of buzz. However, I felt more comfortable. I wouldn't say it's easier, but I felt more comfortable with you at the silent disco, because I've got you guys with me. You know, I'm stood there with you guys, and there was definitely comfort and pressure off because of that.
There's always sweets. Always sweets.
We always have
loads of sweets and cans. They're like, look under here, big chests full of old cans and like sweets and water.
I think the key to events, parties, festivals, silent discos, I think the biggest key to it is that you've got to enjoy it. And I'm a strong believer, but if the crowd or the customers or whatever look up at the DJ and they look like they don't want to be there, that comes across. You know, I saw your video at the festival. You're jumping up and down and you're getting people to dance, and you can see the crowd are feeding off of that. You can see that and I think that's what's important with any gig, you know.
Yeah.
Large or small,
even if you're not having a good time, you have to fake it and you have to paint that smile on, because someone. Go on, John.
Look, I was gonna say, I mean, I did a TikTok video. I turned up to do a wedding, and I just was not feeling it. There'd already been an arrest in the car park. There'd been a fight in the car park, and I was like, you know what, I really don't want to be here, but I can't let the bride and groom know that. I've got to go in, put on my smiley face, do my thing, and then I can worry about it. You have to leave it at the door. You know, if you're having
it's draining. It's draining sometimes, isn't it? If we're real,
if
we're true, you know, sometimes it could be the best job in the world, and we can absolutely buzz off it, and we're absolutely blessed to earn money by doing what we love doing. But sometimes you're not always on top form. Like, you're not always in that party mood. You're not always going to be feeling the life and soul of the party, but you still have to be. And sometimes, I'll get home from a gig and I'm absolutely drained from it because I've been.
Yeah. It's a bit like that podcast, isn't it, Matty? When we get off the line from each other, drained mentally.
Yeah.
I would say you're making a really good point, TJ. And without John's little side note, it is mentally draining. It is it is mentally that pressure to be able to deliver something. And we turn, there's stuff that happens in people's lives that you don't see, and you see it in celebrities. And I'm not saying we're celebrities in any way, shape, or form, but what we see in front of camera is completely different to what actually goes on in their personal life behind closed doors. And that's exactly what happens with DJs. We're expected to go out there, and we're getting paid to do a job, don't get me wrong, but we're expected to go out there and deliver and be that life and soul and get people up and that enjoyment. And if, like John said, the reaction we want is people seeing that we're enjoying it, so they then feel that they're enjoying it. And it becomes a bit of a vicious circle, but you've got to be careful about that. And I think any DJ that keeps shelving that and keeps pushing that to one side and not talking about that and not addressing what the points that you just made, TJ, there, I think you could be destined to potentially a little bit of a breakdown. I don't want to bring the podcast down in any way, shape or form, but I've always been an advocate of we need to be talking more. We need to have a lot better conversations with our DJ colleagues about what we're doing. And I know regionally there is little DJ groups that are set up that you can offload to, and I would encourage anybody to do that, really.
Mate,
you're right with it. I think everyone needs to talk about it more. We've said it on many a podcast.
Yep.
It's very important. So
what's the future for TJ Funky T? What's the future in the industry looking like for you, mate?
Okay. It's just looping back a little bit to everything, but
we're all over it tonight. I mean, John started this whole going off a different tangent, so we can loop in any direction you want. So please feel free to just go.
When I started doing DJing, I was really hustling, really, like 3 posts a day, a couple of posts a day, whatever I could do. And also sideline to that, my DJ business, I was hustling for gigs, and I was saying yes to things that I didn't want to do just to make sure I was working that weekend. And I was also doing a lot of kids' parties, which meant that some weekends I would do 4 gigs in a weekend. And I'd work during the week as well. And then at the weekend, I'd be out Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. And it got too much. It was draining us as a family, but draining me socially. And what's it all for? If you can't just work. So I've realised that I don't want to work so much. I haven't had a very busy winter by choice. And next year, put a little post out the other day on Instagram to basically say I only had a few spaces left. And I had a few comments about that saying, are you happy with it? That doesn't mean I'm saying I'm fully booked, but that doesn't mean I'm working 7 days a week every day. That just says I'm working as much as I want to work. Like, I've got 30 gigs for 2025, and a lot of DJs, some DJs did 70, 100 gigs, whatever, yeah. But 30 is a nice balance for me. That gives me a couple of weekends off. A lot of that's during the summer, during wedding season. It's like that's enough for me to still find enjoyment and be excited about what I did next week, rather than just going through the motions, ramming the kit in the back of the van, like getting off with it, So I'm trying to now find the balance of reining it in slightly to keep the enjoyment going.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is, so I've got the bookings for 2025, and I've also got a few bookings for 2026. And if I continue at the momentum of booking way in advance, it means I can set a highish price point I'm happy with.
Mm-hmm.
And I can take the bookings in advance, a year or 2 years in advance, whatever, and fill my diary then so I know what I'm doing a year later, if you know what I mean. And basically can forecast what I want to do and cut out all the low paid, last minute flappy gigs that nobody really wants to do, but they're doing it because it'd be nice to earn a couple of £100 extra this week, or it'd be nice to be out, or I've got nothing next week, so I might as well do 2 this week. Just, no, thank you. I don't want to be busy. I want to just do what I want to do and cherry pick the jobs I want to do, earn good money from it, and be happy. So,
to
answer your question, Matty, more of where I'm at now, and I don't actually think that there's a goal to. Not saying I'm at the top of any tree or that I've reached the final destination or whatever, but where I am now, I'm happy with, and the continuum.
So you're comfortable with that.
You're completely content with where you are and the forecast of what you've delivered of that balance of making sure that your family life as well as your DJing life is maintained, where you are still doing stuff, but you're also doing a lot more stuff with the family as well, which previously in previous years you weren't.
Mate, I think if I was to carry on the way I've been previously, I don't think I'd be able to I think I'd sack it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to do 4 gigs a week all the time, or 3 gigs a week, or 2 gigs a week consistently. It would just, like people love a steak. They say if you eat steak every day, you'll get bored of steak, you won't want to eat it anymore. It's the same thing, isn't it? Do for something, it's sickly and horrible. And that's how I've felt it, And this is probably not what anybody expected me to say when, because everybody's got a goal to be bigger and better and to have more. But
it's funny because, one of the questions that was posed last week, wasn't it, Matt? He was like, what are your goals for this year? Now, I'll be honest, I haven't really made a goal for this year, personally, myself. I haven't got even now, I still haven't got a goal.
Staying on the podcast, probably. This is probably the only goal you've got now.
Oh, yeah, I've got to work for that now.
Well,
you know what, John? That's all right. It's all right not to have a goal, though, isn't it? Like, self-improvement's a big thing. And, I'm not saying to anyone to not strive to improve. But it's also equally important to recognise when you've got it good. I said to my missus last week, I said, by the way, we were just having pillow talk, I said, these are the best years of our lives. It's now. This is it. We're in our 30s, son is 11, and he lives at home, and he loves us. He still wants to be around us. He's not old enough that he wants to move out and stuff. None of us are terminally ill or got anything wrong with us medically. We've got our health. It's now, because all of that's not going to be around for long. Yeah. At some point, he's going to move out, or, we're going to get old. And it's now's the time to enjoy that.
Some of us are already old.
We'll be working, or we'll be working. John, is he having a dig at you again?
No, he's probably, of course he is. It's an age thing because he wants to make it perfectly clear that
who is older out of you two? Is it you, Matt?
It's me. It's
me.
Yeah, it's
only
me.
by about 6 months.
Yeah, but he makes a point of it. But look, TJ, you make a really, really valid point, and life is too short. And as long as you are content with the decisions you're making, as long as you are absolutely comfortable with making sure that your priorities are set in the right way, then that's the goal in life. Whether the goal is to have 20 wedding venues or 20 nightclubs, and you are their preferred DJ that they have in, week out, if that's your goal, that's your goal. That's everyone has their own goals in life for what they want to do. You sound like you've had a right reset over the winter period, and you've consolidated everything that's been happening over the last couple of years for you personally, and have gone, I can still deliver 30 gigs a year and still maintain having a really balanced and well loved time at home with the family and your young boys. So hats off to you, man.
So going off of sort of goals and that sort of thing.
Oh, here we go again. He's going off route again. Go on.
So you kind of wrapped up what you were saying. You did a big sort of this is you finishing the interview. But
this is going to be so hard to edit now. Go on, John. Keep going.
I haven't finished yet.
Go on.
So much for a joint podcast. It's all about, should be called the Matty F Show.
So that's a good name. I like that.
So TJ, you with the DJing, you now play the saxophone as well.
Yeah, I'm
Are you,
learning.
well, are you pretty good? I've seen
Well,
a
you've
couple of
played at a
videos.
gig now. Come on now.
Yeah.
Let's
Mate,
not just.
I've played at a few gigs, yeah, but
There you go.
it haven't always sounded good.
Okay.
It's different
Well, I always think
playing at home and playing out on a gig is completely different. Go on, John.
in
What was
what
your
way?
question? Let's let you finish your
Well, the
question.
question was that, I mean, it wasn't even about the DJ, it was about the sax player. How'd you get away with practicing at home? Because my wife, she's
I'll
miserable.
tell
She
you.
would never let me practice.
I do practice. I try and practice
Oh, he's
20
gone.
minutes. I'm here. 20 minutes a
Oh,
day
still
I
there.
try and practice. I've got
Okay.
obviously I've got a real saxophone that's downstairs, and I've also got this electronic sax where all the keys are in
Love
the
that.
same place, and I can
Oh,
plug
okay.
headphones into it so I can practice scales or whatever. In my
Do they do
office.
one of them for a drum kit?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Of course they
They
do.
do,
You
don't they? They
donut.
do like, I'd like to
So-
learn how to play the drums.
Yeah, I mean I try and do 20 minutes a day. Been playing for a year and a half, just over a year and a half now.
Really?
goal-
Wow.
Yeah, the goal is that that's my retirement. So when I'm sick of DJing, like proper sick of it, my son can take over and I'll just sax. Because I was doing a disco recently for an anniversary, and I said out of curiosity, so today I'm a sax player. I said out of curiosity, I said, how much are you charging the sax player? So because I'm learning, I'm not trying to put myself forward for the gig or anything. At some point, I'm going to be hiring myself out, so it'd be interesting to know what the local rate is. And they said that they had the sax player was the cheapest they could find. Yeah. And it was double what I was charging for two 45-minute sets. And obviously we got to load our van with all the equipment, drive there, unload it, set it all up, stay till the end. We deal with all the drunk people at the end. We pack down, we drive it home, we unload it. This sax player turns up with a sax and a microphone, plugs into your kit, played for 40 minutes, had the rest, played for 40 minutes, goes home. So I'm thinking, I mean, I was already learning, but I was thinking, I've got to be doing this. I've got to be doing more of this.
Mate,
So
mate,
that's
there's something to learn,
mental.
mate. We could do that, quick. Mate, I want to be a sax player now.
Well, you can choose any instrument, mate. Matt, you play the drums, don't you? Or you did play the drums?
I did. Yeah, I played in the drums. I played the drums in the band for a number of years.
Some conga drums, mate. Get some conga drums and add it to your set.
So I did. I've got a drum pad that I have used a couple of times at gigs. It's just something added extra that I just think, oh, can I be
You
bothered?
know what, though, Matt?
with
It makes such a difference. You can get the 250 quid on Gear for Music, the set that I got. I'll take them to the occasional gig, certainly if I'm playing outside. It goes down so well. Like, literally. I've had repeat bookings from people that have said, oh, we saw you here. Can you come? Can you bring the conga drums as well? We want the conga drum. You know? And
You have to
It's
learn how to actually play
something
them,
to
is
think
it?
about now. Something to think
I
about.
played the drums as well.
Tapping, is it?
No, but if you've got basic rhythm,
No. That's why I'm a DJ. That's why I'm a DJ.
With the conga drums, you're not trying to take over. It's a supplementary thing. You know, you're just running the bass line and playing a few bits. But if you don't play the drums or you've never played, you can pick it up.
You've never seen me dance, have you, TJ?
I can imagine
I can't
what
dance.
that's like.
Yeah.
Proper old man dad dancing. So yeah,
Yeah, he's
I-
no rhythm whatsoever.
no, none at all.
To play the triangle.
Yeah,
Or the
I think
maracas.
I'll probably miss it.
Yeah, he'd go through the whole bit, wouldn't he, of the triangle?
I mean, it's
Matt,
not working.
you need to buy some congas, mate. Get that done. That is
That's
it,
literally,
mate.
and that's an
He's-
upsell, mate, all day long.
He spent
It's
too much
a
money.
good point. It's a very good point. I'm not in the market for that at this moment in time. My car is full. I don't have a van. I work out of a car, so what I have in my car is filled, and that does include the selfie pod if that goes out. So I know I'm at full maximum, unless in the future I do buy a van and go down that route. But at this moment in time, if anything new going in, something's got to come out. That's how I work from that point of view. TJ, it's been we've come pretty much up to our end of our show today.
Wow. It's gone by really quick, actually.
It has gone massively quick. But I don't want to put any spoilers out. But TJ is going to be joining us later on in the year. I'm not going to give any more teasers out on that. So this is not the last time you're going to see and hear TJ on the Groove Junction. He is going to come back, but we'll have more details about that later in the year. Just going to leave that out there for people.
Little teaser.
Like, a little teaser.
Little teaser. If you got any
teaser.
ideas or you want to suggest any comment, anything around that, put it in the comments, and we'll laugh at them. That's always good to do. But TJ, thanks for joining us, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, I hope 2025 works out for you the way you've planned it, and having that reset is helped. And yeah, man, all the best for you, mate.
Yeah,
Thanks
nice one.
for having
Thanks,
me, guys.
TJ, buddy.
I really appreciate your invitation.
There you go, John. What an interview.
Wow. You know what? I mean, I know I've said it in the interview, but I've known him, over 2 years now, and he's genuinely such a nice guy. I've spoken to him like on the phone. I've spoken to him face to face at events that we've been to, and he knows his stuff.
He does.
He is genuinely a nice guy. He really is.
He played it down a little bit in the sense of he's just doing what he's doing, but
you don't get to where you are now or where he is now just by doing what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely,
Right,
absolutely.
Liked it. We enjoyed that, and it go by quick.
It went very quick, and it's great that he allowed to give up his time to do it. I know, obviously, we mentioned at the back end of his interview around him having that bit of that reset and refocusing on his priorities. Again, DJing and family and everything else, and he's weighing that up. And we wanted him on the show quite early on into the Groove Junction. I know I say this, we're only 22 weeks into the Groove Junction, but he was one of the people that we talked about very early doors about getting on. So I'm pleased that he's now been on. And like I said, we have got something planned later on this year. So fingers crossed that all works out as well.
I'm sure it will.
So,
sure it will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but genuinely, nice guy. Enjoyed that. Went by very, very quickly as well. I can't wait to whatever with him.
Whatever. I can't wait to whatever with him.
I might get one of them.
He's going back to the hotel. It's going back to the hotel room.
Go back to the hotel. Yeah, but I'm going to have.
But that's something that wasn't even discussed in the pod. That's something we've talked about separately. Let's not talk about what stays in the hotel room. Stays in the hotel room. Let's leave that there. Right there.
Let's leave that right.
Don't open that can of worms right now, John.
I think you've already opened it, mate.
Well, was it me? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
No, good stuff.
Yeah, a really good interview. That's it, man. That's the week. This week's done. What you got planned coming up, man? What you got? Anything happening this weekend?
Nothing. I'm going to Norfolk.
Oh yeah, you said that at the start of the show.
Yeah,
you're off to Norfolk.
I mean, to be fair, we have had an interview between like that when I said it, and then an interview. And you say I don't concentrate. I mean,
no, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Is that it was such a good interview. I forgot we talked about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, so we've done that, and I know you've got a couple of birthday parties. The selfie pod's going out. You got your 11th, 12th, and a 13th birthday. I know all of that.
I tell you what,
up here, mate. Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm just gonna finish this episode.
You know what? Right.
No, hold on a minute.
No. I was going to say, right. I can't remember what I was going to say now. I've lost my train of thought now. But today's been a wicked podcast. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to let you do the tail off and the say the goodbyes bit because and I don't want to tread on your toes anymore tonight, as I already have. Taking me down. You're taking us down a cul-de-sac we can't get out of. What was that?
I don't know. Let's analyze this offline so our listeners or viewers aren't seeing this and having to listen to this.
For those people who don't know what a cul-de-sac is, it's a road with it's a dead end road.
It's a dead end road, yes. Yeah. And that's where you took us during the conversation at one point. Anyway, John, it's been absolutely marvellous, as
Yeah,
always.
thanks, mate. Yeah, been good fun. I've enjoyed it.
Have a great week, and
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you and listening to your dulcet tones next week on the podcast. We've got another guest next week.
I know.
We've all got lined up.
Lined up.
Another member of TikTok royalty next week. So don't forget, as always, the podcast drops every Friday at 10 a.m. ready for your weekends, for when you're going out gigging and you need something to listen to that is not music, because you've listened to that constantly whilst DJing, day and night. Put on a podcast, put on the Groove Junction, go find us, go tell your friends. We want to be able to entertain you in ways that podcasts just don't entertain you.
Exactly that.
Yeah, exactly that, John.
Exactly that. Yeah. Have a listen.
Stop agreeing.
Like it, share. What do you mean? Stop agreeing?
No, but you agree with everything I say.
Well, because what you say is right.
Okay, thanks.
Right. Okay. We're going to go down there. No.
Next
week, mate. Next week. I'll tell you. Next week.
I just got a feeling that we need to re-record this ending, because it's a car crash right now. Shouldn't say car crash. Shouldn't say car crash, because it's a collision. No, it's not even so much.
No,
it's not even so much.
No. See, I'm not agreeing with you now, right? See, if you now go back and re-record the ending, right, people are going to know, and they're going to think, oh, well, they say it's not scripted, but clearly, right? No, leave it in.
I'm going to leave it in. I'm leaving it in. Now you've said it.
I don't think you should leave it in.
Oh, now you've said it, we're leaving it. Now you've said it, we're leaving it in. It's been great. Everyone out there, thanks for listening. Thank you for your continued support. We love it. We love to hear and see your comments as well. So, and also, like I said last week, if you want to be a guest on the Groove Junction, then please let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. We want to know everyone's stories. We want to know how you've got into it, just as much as we did find out about TJ's story, as well as Scott Dewing's story, as well as Sean Solo's story, where the list goes on in relation to the guests that we've had on, and we want to continue to do that. So if you want to be a guest on the Groove Junction, please get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great stuff. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again soon.
See you soon. Take care.